This is eCoffee with Experts, where marketers and founders share what's actually working in SEO, AI, and digital growth. Grab your coffee and fuel your mind as we chat with top minds about their wins, struggles, and lessons you won't find in a blog post. Brought to you by Digital Web Solutions, we bring real talk to help you grow your business, one episode at a time. Let's get started.
Tom Skinner with GoUp.co.uk. You have a lot on your mind, and you were just telling me about AI visibility and tracking and kind of reporting. Obviously, Rand Fishkin just dropped something, Rand with SparkToro, talking about tools, AI tracking and visibility. What's like on the top of your mind when it comes to this subject?
Well, I think it comes down to this conversation that we're constantly having with existing clients, existing prospects, and I know the whole industry is having these conversations. And I think it stems from, first of all, clients are looking at visibility, organic visibility, through a very traditional prism, the prism that we're all familiar with of Google Search Console, Google Analytics, getting told exact search volumes and sort of where you're ranking for those different searches. And that, I find, that's what everyone expects. And so people, therefore, by default, are trying to replicate that in a world which it just can't be replicated. Big client of ours at the moment, a big UK pet food company, we are working with them on an AI optimization brief at the moment. They have no problem in traditional search. And they told us the other day that they've signed on this company, I won't say who they are, who provide this software they've got 200 prompts, right? So the client's given them 200 prompts, and this company will use that same prompt. So those 200 prompts 24 times a day, 1 hour apart across all of the kind of the major LLMs. And the idea is that they would then feed back to our client with this, hey, good news, for 10 of these prompts, you're ranking here, you're being cited here, you're not being cited here. Which I can see, it's what a fantastic thing to be able to sell. Is it useful? That's the problem. And so Rand Fishkin's study that you referred to talks about very, very small percentage likelihoods of 2 of the same prompts returning the same response. Surfacing the same response. So you're shooting in the dark would be an understatement. So it's a bit tricky at the moment, because that's what clients are expecting. They want that traditional, are we ranking or not? Whereas what we're trying to bring to the table with our clients is it's manual. It's quite a manual job, but I just don't think the software exists at the moment to do anything else. Where we are kind of combining existing GA4 and GSC data, putting a filter in to Looker Studio for saying, only at least 10 words, right? So if the Google search was at least 10 words, what page are they going to? Then using GA4 data to say, okay, well, you had this many sessions from ChatGPT, and then blending that data. So we're then able to say, it's a hypothesis, right? But we're able to go in with some confidence saying, okay, forget what that company's telling you about where you might be ranking, or, I'm using the language myself, where you might be getting surfaced.
Sure.
And think instead about how we might be able to figure out how are people actually coming to your website. So it's that vanity thing. It's like the vanity of being visible versus is it translating to organic business for you?
Yeah, it's a really interesting concept that this company is putting out. You're saying that just so for my clarification, that the client has given them 200 specific prompts that they've created. It's not that the company that they've hired is creating 200 different prompts and like testing variations. Interesting.
No, so it's 200 of the same prompts. And this is what's so, with traditional SEO going back a few years, and we're trying to explain to clients, the difference between short tail and long tail targeting. And we basically say, long tail, if you're getting the topic right, we're not going to sit here and figure out all the millions of different ways that people might search for that particular thing. Whereas they're just making the same mistakes now in AI. We're saying 200 prompts, but gosh, there's a high chance that no one even searches those prompts anyway, because the point is you're conversational with LLMs. You start a conversation and then you go further and further down the funnel. And at the end you go, okay, based upon everything we've just said, who's the best provider? And so it doesn't take into account any of that context. And so, it's just, that is what I'm finding challenge in our world at the moment, because it's that expectation of traditional search visibility that people want translated somehow into AI.
Yeah. There is no direct one-to-one comparison like you're talking about with GA4 or GSC. And then you have this Looker Studio filter that you put together. What does what does that show? I mean,
Hmm.
I guess what are the metrics? Are we looking at impressions, site traffic?
So we're
You know.
starting with, you know, what we hope matters most to our client, which is sessions from GA4. Let's first of all do a nice basic. In the last month, how many sessions did you get from ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, Claude, whatever it is? So we've got a
Mhm.
filter in there. So then we get a number. We're then able to see, well, what are the pages, what are the landing pages on our client's website that Chat or Gemini is sending those people towards?
Mhm.
That would ordinarily be where the story ends. What we would then do is then take that URL, put it into Google Search Console, and then
Mm.
put a filter on that and say, and this is where the 10 word parameter comes in, which is
Yeah.
how are people being conversational on Google in order to get pushed towards these pages? And our
Mm.
hypothesis is that due to grounding,
Mhm.
if that is how people are getting to that particular page on Google with a really long tail search, then we can extrapolate from that that's what they're probably doing on Chat and Gemini, and then we'll
Mm.
go and with the client take that 12-word query that was surfaced by Google Search Console, put it into
Mhm.
ChatGPT. Lo and behold, there's the page. So look, it's incredibly manual,
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like it.
but it's more just to shed some light on the reality of LLM traffic rather than just trying to guess and go, I hope we're visible.
Yeah. Yeah. But you're right. Like clients do want to see something. They want to know that the agency that they've hired is somehow keeping up with AI. And a lot of the ways that you can do that, it's tempting to manufacture or show vanity metrics just to kind of please the client and say, like, hey, like this is really difficult to measure. However, these are some indications that you are having visibility, you are getting included in sessions, different from these different LLMs. And then I would imagine if you're going and taking these metrics and the client doesn't understand them, they're probably going to take that into their own hands and then go to an LLM and say, can you decipher these metrics? Tell me what these mean. And then after they do that process, likely it's far out of their purview. Like they hired you because you're the expert. They're not the expert in marketing, but
Yeah.
they're going to learn different things through this LLM by dissecting, maybe the report. And then they're going to come back to you. And I would imagine they're probably going to push you and grill you and be like, what does this mean? How come you're not doing this?
Mm.
And it seems like, what's going on there? It sounds like you maybe have a recent
Yeah,
experience with that.
look, it's so true. I mean, I feel a bit naughty sharing this story with you, but we've been having conversations with an exciting, well-funded fintech. They are looking to give us quite a big traditional and generative search brief. I mean, they define we want a traditional search brief and a generative one, and we're like, oh my gosh, come on, just treat them the same. Anyway,
The same, yeah.
yeah. So, but whatever, if that's how they'd like us to spread out, lay out our presentation, that's fine. So we had multiple calls with them. And they came into the office, had good conversations with them. I really thought that they had kind of bought into understanding what we were trying to say here around, look, get your house in order, and I'm doing air quotes, from a traditional search perspective, and
Hmm.
the rest will follow. Anyway, so then we've had all this amazing conversation, and then what should land in my inbox from the person who we've been talking to there is quite literally, when someone's just copy and pasted from chat, it's got bullet
Yeah.
points, it's bold, and it's like, hang on a second, that doesn't sound like you. And it felt, I don't know, and this is I think something that I have to be really kind of aware of, is it felt rude.
Yeah.
And I know they're
Sure.
not being rude. And so, and my reaction to that was, well, do you not understand anything we've just said? Because the questions that you are supposedly asking us via
Yeah.
ChatGPT, you don't know the answers to anyway. So what's the point of you putting all this work back on us to go
Yeah.
and answer these questions? So anyway, what came of this? What started as me sitting there going, "Oh, that's annoying." I went, okay, I've got an idea. I'm going to do this right back at them. So I'm gonna, yeah, this is the bit where I'm sort of like, oh, should I be sharing this?
It's
All the
hilarious.
notes that we've taken,
Uh-huh.
stick into. I think I was using Gemini. Stick into Gemini, and then I say, oh, and then I got this from the client. Help me, please. Turn everything that I've already said to them into something that they can understand. And so, about 2 hours later, they receive a revised deck that
Uh-huh.
is headed in a way that they've asked these questions, and it's like,
Uh-huh.
hang on a second. That was really useful. And so then that's where I have to sort of check
Mm.
myself and go, Tom, you need to embrace this stuff a little bit more and not be, as I was literally quite offended by this. How dare you take a conversation and turn it into this sort of robotic conversation?
Uh-huh.
But anyway, we'll wait and see whether they come on board. But
Yeah.
yeah, that is a frustration of mine at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like these new tools are available and people are using them in all kinds of wacky ways and thinking that they have, it's almost like, I don't want to say taking steroids because steroids can actually make you stronger. Obviously, I don't have any experience with steroids, but if you stop taking those steroids, you go back to an even worse version than before physically as someone who works out. But it's almost like these LLMs are kind of giving that same effect to business owners where they feel like, okay, looking at someone who's actually built the muscle in digital marketing, now they feel like they have this magic drug that they can take and bulk themselves up. But if you take it away, they don't know what they're talking about. But
no, 100%.
yeah,
I mean, it's like someone, it's probably quite a lazy analogy, but it's someone who doesn't have a driving license getting into a really fast car. And they're like, oh, this is fun. Look at all these things I can do. And then lo and behold, they spin off or whatever. Yeah, it's that kind of, it's almost that Peter Parker thing of they have too much responsibility. They have too much power now. And it's about trying to just remind our clients, this is what we spend a lot of the time doing, which is that the AI conversation is prevalent, it's everywhere, it's omnipresent. And actually, what we really urge our clients to do is just say, look, if you can just focus on the stuff, right? So what makes your business better or different to the competition? Let's nail that messaging. Let's organize that messaging on your website in a way that makes semantic sense to someone reading it. And in fact, don't even use the word semantic, because then suddenly people go, wait, what? And it's just, no, just tell us what you do in a way that you do it. And then that, as we know, that combined with some nice offsite signals and digital PR is what moves the needle in traditional search. And so then just don't worry about it. The whole point is LLMs are making life easier for people to find you if you're good. So focus on being good. Stop worrying about, people might be using this LLM, not this LLM, and I'm visible for this and not that. It's like, just focus on what you're good at. Make your business better and things fall into place.
Yeah. Focus on the differentiators and really hammer into the target market that values those sort of differentiators. So a lot of your business at Go Up, even though you're good at digital marketing and all sorts of different channels as a primarily SEO, but also a full service agency. I'm curious, for the agency, what do you find as your primary acquisition channel these days?
Yeah. Really good question. We Go Up has ranked organically in about between position 1, 2, and 3 for SEO agency and SEO agency London for about 9 years. Okay, so we practice what we preach in that regard. So the short answer to your question is SEO. And a lot of the time, prospects get in touch and they do our sales pitch for us. They go, we found you on search. It must be really competitive. You must be really good. So that happened in about 2017. So that changed everything.
Yeah.
As well as that, we have tinkered with outbound. Just it's not sitting well with me at the moment, or either we're not getting the messaging right. It doesn't agree with the kind of the fundamental values of the agency, which were founded on real transparency, because we landed as an agency in 2011 by accident. Okay, like this is a separate story, but me and my co-founder, we're school friends. We set up a business because I had more marketing knowledge than him. I came from a WPP agency where they paid me nothing. And I couldn't exist in London. I couldn't rent in the places where my friends lived. And it was, to be honest, the motivation was, how can I quickly move up the ladder? And so I did that classic thing of going from marketing executive to co-founder.
Yeah. Nice.
So anyway, we created this agency because I had exposure to digital in my last agency. And I just knew that basically all the budgets I was managing were going over to search. And so we built this agency, we built Go Up. And I say we built Go Up, it was two of us hitting the phones. But we arrived just after Panda and Penguin. Okay, so we're going back a long, long way. Panda and Penguin had just dropped and changed organic search forever. And then we two young guys wander in and just kind of go, wait, what's so difficult? We just followed the guidelines. And so we follow Google guidelines. That's what we do. And we actually wrote it into our contracts, which was risky, but we did it anyway. And it meant that we were able to grow our business in this really transparent way, which was really refreshing in the industry, because at that time, SEO, you don't mention, is almost an embarrassment if you invest in SEO in those days, because you've probably responded to some spammy outreach, and you're probably getting horrible links and syndicated content and all those things. So we came into this world where we were like, no, we're just the good guys. Anyway, I've lost track a little bit, but we were talking about values, and sorry, remind me, Austin, where were we?
No, it's good to hear that sort of a founder story, and just understanding, like, not many agencies can say that they've like been in the coveted 1, 2, and 3 spot on Google for that long. I mean, almost a decade is absolutely incredible. And so that's where a majority of your clients come from, is organic. But I also know that, with being that transparent, with following the guidelines, with eating your dog food, as in like following your own processes, providing results that you also offer as a service. I mean, that's got to open up the channels for referrals and word of mouth, which is kind of like, that kind of is what keeps a lot of the agencies I talk to alive, until they can get their outbound channels nailed in. If they want to invest in PPC, like, I don't know too many agencies that are really crushing it at PPC for their own acquisition, but do you have like referral networks, or how does that work?
Thanks for bringing me back to the point here. I think I was talking about the values of outbound, and we're tinkering with it and starting to show some green shoots. I think so. Referrals, of course. So I would say it's probably a third of our business comes from referrals, or it comes from increasing retainers. We'll start on one section of a client's website and move into others. But we have this luxury, and I know it's a luxury, and it's something that my co-founder and I keeps us up at night sometimes, which is, what if that tap turns off? Because we haven't, in nearly 15 years of running this agency, we haven't really had to, apart from the first few years where we cold called, but as soon as our rankings appeared in 2017, we haven't really had to worry about client acquisition, because there's always a queue of people at the door. So that's been really helpful, of course. And you know what? This is the first podcast I've done. So, I mean, in many ways, this is me bravely sticking my head above the parapet and going, we might have to start doing some marketing. In that sense, because, even though we do rank position 1, 2, or 3 for SEO Agency London normally, like everyone else, we're finding it harder and harder to get that traffic, because the SERP real estate is what it is. And so we're branching out now, and we've dabbled with paid search in the past, sort of reluctantly, but normally when we'd launch a new service. But no, we're very lucky. We can still rely on our organic channel for bringing in most of our business.
And doing podcasts and public appearances as a founder, as a co-founder, is a great way to expose yourself to new audiences. I'm wondering, on the digital PR side, even though that's not necessarily podcasts, like, what is the approach to digital PR these days for your clients, and like, what's the value? I guess I'm asking, what is the value to this new post AI era?
Well, spoiler alert, I think within 5 years' time, we will call ourselves a digital PR agency. It's so fast becoming. I mean, for a long time we've seen, in, again, I'm air quoting, traditional search, the power of proper backlinks, right? So that's another gift, really, that was given to us on a plate, which was that, like, so many agencies still are rummaging around in the gutter when it comes to link building, and so it's quite easy, if you can put the right people in your business to compete on that level. About half of our business now are PRs that we have taken from PR agencies. So what we're not doing is reskilling SEOs. We are going, do you know where the value really lies? We believe for the next 10 years of our clients' organic journeys is in all the conversations that happen not on their website. So that is a huge focus for us. If you were to take any sample of kind of the last, 3 or 4 pitches we've done, you'd think you'd gone to a PR agency. For that, there are the inevitable kind of bits in there about where are you now? Where can you be ranking, and how big's the audience size? But then when we go into the actual strategy of the campaign, it's very, very heavily PR focused. But your question is such a timely one, and as a senior team, we often sit down and we scratch our heads and go, we know it's working. Something that's very, very difficult to translate to clients is, something that often comes up is, hey, links versus mentions. What do you guys do about that? And our answer is, we need to not undervalue mentions. They're incredibly valuable, and in a lot of places, a lot of publications, it might just be that those places can't give backlinks. So we've got to celebrate a mention as we would a followed link. But in terms of, we are still pushing for followed links. We are. So it's being able to combine that, taking people from PR agencies who have, and I hate this expression, but it's kind of the point here, which is they have that little black book. They know people to talk to. They can get us in the door at publications. Then there's this lovely little blending moment where it mixes with our SEO strategy team, and we can go, okay, it'd be really, really good if the backlink went to this place, or it mentioned this thing. So we know the value is there, and normally when clients turn that on, because often if budget is an issue, we'll have different teams working on our clients' accounts at different times. And when the PR bit comes in, suddenly everyone gets really, really engaged with it, right? They can see results start to move if we're reporting on ranking positions, or if we're reporting on traffic, whatever it is. Also, people get really excited about that side of the business because it feels creative, and it feels, do you know what I mean? It's that sort of, we often find people sit in our agency and they go, I'm not the SEO agency. They're going to talk to me about all these things I don't understand, and I'm going to have to nod along. But when we go, hey, we'll get you in the Times, we'll get you in the New York Times, they're like, right, okay, I get it. I see, I get now, and I understand why doing that brings value organically to our business. So that feels like the direction of travel.
Yeah, absolutely. And you bring up the do follow versus mention versus citations. It's all important. And I think the message here is the context is becoming more important than the href type of link. Although obviously we're looking for do follow. It's not like we're not prioritizing those.
Your wording, even just hearing you say this, it's like I'm looking in a mirror at myself in a pitch room going, it's not that we don't want to not do it, it's that we do want to do this.
So many back and forth, so many swaps. I mean, with where LLMs are going, the digital PR side, the citations are becoming more and more important. Have you seen any sort of unique takes to earn those sort of placements? I mean, is there a specific strategy that you're using that's different than before, or what's the straight and narrow?
Well, so again, it comes down to the context of what the client's trying to achieve here. So it's very unusual when a client is talking about AI visibility. We are steering the conversation to search visibility. We are hammering those messages around, understand your business properly, know what the differentiators are, make sure that is being really clearly communicated on your website, and then we'll go and get people talking about you. Okay, now a lot of the time, you go and you find a grounded prompt, and then you see the cited links, and it's all of these listicles, right? The 10 best CRMs at the moment, or whatever. The 12 best CRMs, the 5 best CRMs, and supposedly this is the holy grail of information that is going to inform those results. So look, when we talk to clients about it and they go, don't you think we need to be in that list? And we're like, well, yeah, it'll be great if you were top of all those lists, but we need to be realistic about what can be achieved here. And that feels like that. I think it's black hat happening right now in AI. Okay, so I have seen, again, I won't name them. There's an SEO agency in London who you could go onto ChatGPT a few months ago and you type in who's the best SEO agency in London, and this agency had written a blog article and it said, who are the best SEO agencies in London? And they stick themselves at the top. Of course. And then, very nicely, they mention a few others, and clearly they've just done a Google search and put them in that order. And I think that's all we're seeing. It's not a general rule, right? But what we're saying is we're not going into that cited list, and we're not saying that is our priority. We're not going to get you mentioned on those places. It'll be nice if we did, and we will try, sort of. But the priority is, can we get the right people in the right publications talking about you guys in the right way? Because in the long term, that's going to be much more effective.
Yeah, and I think there was something that was released, I don't know if by Google, correct me if I'm wrong or if I'm thinking of the wrong thing, but there's something that is pushing back against that from a tech company. They're like, we're no longer like going to be using those top 10 lists because they're very clearly black hat. Like they can be
Yeah,
easily manipulated,
yeah.
pay to play, all of that. I think there was some pushback recently. Maybe I was just scrolling on LinkedIn and
I haven't
saw
seen it,
something.
but I haven't seen that, but I'm not surprised, and I'm glad
Mm.
that there is a voice out there, because it's the danger is, I mean, I look at my own parents, right, using LLMs,
Oh
and
yeah.
for whatever reason, they will trust that information more than they, I think, ever trusted Google organic results. And if
Mm.
it's something to do with, I don't know, financial planning, they
Yeah.
will trust it more than what a financial planner tells them. And so it's dangerous. It feels like a dangerous world, and it
Hmm.
feels like that there is this kind of rush for black hat. And when I talked about when Go Up first landed in 2011, and we had this wonderful opportunity of being able to build our agency from clean slate, not get sucked into those kind of easy, quick win situations for Google.
Hmm.
We are really trying to not get sucked into what we think is going to be those easy, short-term, quick win solutions for AI visibility. And so
Yeah.
we understand why citing is important, and we report to our clients on why sometimes their competitors rank or appear or are surfaced more
Hmm.
favorably in LLMs because of them. But we build our strategies much wider, much sort of longer term than that, and don't focus on those listicle type
Yeah.
placements.
Yeah. As we wrap up the conversation here, basically what I'm hearing is like SEO and GEO, they're not separate strategies, they're together, but a difference, like what's changing in agency land is how you communicate that to clients, right? And how you talk about this new post AI world to the people that you're serving.
Yeah,
If you were to give, if you had a billboard or something that all agency owners would see in 2026, what message would you share for them that would allow them to become successful and stay successful?
sorry, I just want to clarify the question. So the question is, what would my advert be to other agency owners so that their agency is successful, or
Yes.
is it
Yep.
okay?
Yep.
Okay, so I would say that I think transparency is a bit of a fluffy answer, right? So I think really the difference is, have the people who are going to be doing the work selling the work. That is
Mm,
something which we have from day one. That has been a strategy of ours. We don't have sales teams. We don't have people whose job it is to like man inquiries uh, and do that sort of thing. The people who are running the proposals are the people who'll be doing the work, and that was a
mm,
really important thing that happened right at the start, because it meant that we were able to close that context gap between when a client brief comes in and
mhm.
we devise a strategy to make that happen. So I would say, gosh, my copywriting is clearly needs some work, right? But the billboard would say, stay away from sales teams.
Mm,
Have your
yeah.
hang on, let me think about this. Have your experts do the selling, etc., etc.
Nice.
Maybe there'd be a series of billboards, and the
Yeah. Yeah.
messaging would get
Right.
better as you drove down the road. But yeah, that would be, if someone was starting an agency now, I would say, if you possibly can, have your experts do the selling. They
Mm,
might not be the best natural sellers, but the fact that they're able to talk so convincingly
yeah.
about what it is that needs to be done will elevate you above a lot of the other pitches that
Yeah.
prospect will be receiving.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you already have some sort of outbound business development team at your agency, which I would, if you're in that position as an agency, like kudos to you because
Mm,
like to pay for BD teams and like SD teams is not cheap typically.
yeah,
But like if you're in that position, I think the message is have them work closely with the people who are executing the work and
sure.
educate them. Educate them. Like I've been in business development positions in the past, and my main competition was not the people who are the best at the execution. The competition is like the people who didn't know what they were talking about and therefore creating this environment where I get to talk to a qualified prospect and
Yeah,
they're just clouded by all the BS out there.
yeah.
Like,
You
educate
said that
your people.
said that in a much more articulated way than I could ever dream of. And I realize I'm speaking from a position of unbelievable, fortune, insofar as my agency has this luxury
Mm.
of not having to go out and find clients. Touch wood at the moment. So yeah, no, good point. It's make sure that sales and delivery are working out of each other's pockets.
I love it. Well, Tom Skinner, thank you for being here. Congratulations on all the success with Go Up. Where can we find out more about you and about your company?
Well, I mean, as I've alluded to earlier, we've been very quiet as an agency, so you won't find much apart from at www.goup.co.uk. We're even starting to enter some awards now, so you may well be seeing us kind of around more often. And this is the first, I hope, of many of these kind of things for me personally.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it was fun. So I'd like to start sort of spreading the message a bit more. So thank you for giving me the platform.
Rock on, dude. Well, it was great to have you, and yeah, I hope people do go look up the company, and yeah, I guess prove to themselves that solid SEO fundamentals can work, and you are living proof of that. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you so
Cheers,
much,
Tom.
Austin.
Bye.